Oh.
Hello, everybody. We are just getting going. Rye has finished their weekly Stellaris game with their dad, and I guess we're doing more MSQ as soon as I figure out what instance Rye is in so I can port there.
Good luck with that.
So, what instance are you in?
Good luck with that. No, that's the instance, really.
Fine.
Looks like 1.
I had a 50-50 shot. There you are. Somewhere. So, are we ready for more story?
I suppose my order still hasn't arrived.
Really? After all this time?
I know.
Yeah. Well, with the way we've been going, we've been doing a zone about once every 2 weeks. So, unfortunately, this begs the question. The next live letter is on the 18th. And I don't know if I want to watch it or not because I'm not through MSQ yet. Because what they're going to be outlining is, quote, their next 10-year plan.
Oh dear. To a certain extent, I'm not sure if you dare miss that, though.
I know.
Well, let's see how far along we are by the middle of next week.
Now, I will also note, for hilarity's sake, earlier today I popped into the Heidelin Trust as Sage, so I was double saging with Alfie. And actually,
the Thayrin was mighty.
Yes, the Thayrin was mighty. Oh my gosh. I'm still having problems trying to parse what certain mechanics are with certain tells. And I should probably sit down and
to the club.
really look at that. Because I've got a feeling it's going to be even worse in the EX, but I usually don't do EXs at the time, but I don't know. Anyway, hi guys, sorry we were late, they never brought our order. Estinian?
A bit of stressed, but I'd much rather find something productive to do. How about serving food? They seem to need help. Though, I'm just imagining the culinary carnage that would follow a stir diver delivery of food to your table.
Nice.
I suppose now is as good a time as any to hone my lance. Not that I've ever found it to be dull. Still, it eases my mind on the eve of battle.
Husbando?
When it comes to things like that, I always remember the end of the one old D&D episode. Where everyone else is kind of waiting, and Eric is busy with his shield, and just one of the others is finally just, Eric, enough with the spit and polish. And he's just, one can never have too much polish. Of course, I ran out of spit an hour ago.
Nice.
The Forum hath placed the fate of mankind in our hands. We must not betray their faith.
Mom Cat? I should very much like to speak with the Lappers once their work is complete. 'Tis plain Heidelin has entrusted them with a great deal of knowledge, and I suspect there's more that they could teach us.
The secretive carrots of happiness, no doubt.
Hello, Octi. Good to see you.
A rare opportunity to rest. I say we make the most of it.
Graha, do you want another cheeseburger?
Perhaps now I can finish that book I was reading. Think they'll actually let you back into the restricted section?
You know they never will.
What? Oh, pay me no mind. I'm sure you have better things to do with the time afforded us.
This is the book you were up late studying instead of sleeping, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
I will say, I wasn't expecting to have time on our hands. What should we do? In all honesty, I didn't think the Forum would approve this measure, and certainly not by such a large margin. I dare say, though, that Master Fortunard's impassioned recounting of your audience with Heidelin helped sway the vote. He has a way with words, after all. Where did you think Alphino got it from?
Ere we depart, we must leave nothing undone.
Quite, though it is difficult to conceive how one can best prepare to brave a domain where Dynamis governs all. Nevertheless, Heidelin deemed us worthy of the trials that await. For lack of any other foreseeable option at this late stage, let us trust in her judgment and face Mitian as we are. Which leaves the not-so-small task of coordinating our efforts here to you and to Taro. If all goes to plan, we'll be back before you know it. I certainly hope so. We will be praying for your safe return. Mayhaps it will affect the Dynamis for the better.
With that settled, we should get some rest and make the most of the time we've been afforded. We just got our rest.
No, we got dinner. Or actually, lack thereof. The meeting's over, is it? You were in there for so long, I started to worry. What did they have to say? We're good to go, that's what they had to say. The edge of creation. I see. Rest assured, everything will remain in order until you return, and you will return. Actually, Thayrin, Rylea, can I borrow you two for a moment?
Looks like your plans for the interim are decided. When the three of you have finished, meet us back at the Baldassian Annex, all right?
Okay, Tatara, where are you going to dress us as this time? Come with me to the Agora. I have something to show you. Of course she would. We're her personal clothes horse, after all. Hadn't you figured that out yet? The entire Scions are. But let's be honest, sometimes her fashion is, rather hit or miss. You coming?
Meow. Meow, meow.
Okay. We keep tabs? I thought we never kept tabs with Tataru around. It's too much trouble. Always pay her in full. Though I'm sure we could just make big googly eyes over at Alphino's and Alice's mom, and things would all be straightened out lickety-split. Hey, Tataru. So what do you got? Welcome, Thayrin and Rylea, to Taru's Bouquet! Boutique. I've always done my best to provide the Scions with a fashionable attire. I told you she was going to dress us up in something. But in yours case specifically, I made the extra effort to strive for the most functional yet stylish clothes one could ask for. Not that I'm playing favorites, but you are the warriors of light. Faced with this unprecedented crisis, I knew you would need an ensemble unlike anything I've created before, and that I won't be able to do it alone. So, after enlisting the aid of the world's finest artisans, I've finally completed my career-defining masterpiece. But then inspiration struck, and I saw the golden opportunity just begging to be seized. With the help of some Thavnarian refugees, I decided to set up shop here in Charlian. Of course, I would never charge you for any of our work. Perish the thought! Vasudra, how are things coming along? Everything is in order, Mistress Tataru. We'll be ready to open shortly. Which is why I brought you here. You're to be our very first patron. Would you mind waiting here a moment longer? Oh dear.
And when everybody sees what we're wearing, will be free advertising.
Hold on, Tataru. If you can wait over here just a short while longer, we'll have everything up and running in no time. Vasudra? Did someone move a crate? I could have sworn it was here.
The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registrations.
Oh dear. This is going to be dangerous.
Boutique to open?
I told you we were her personal clothes horses.
No, we're her personal mannequins.
Oh, he's looking like he hasn't had a good day. I think that would be you. I'm guessing.
Ah, I did not expect to find you here. Oh. I imagine that Hana would also wish to offer her regards. Alas, after delivering our dragon scales to the engineers, she remained to assist their work on the Aether Burner. This simulacrum, too, will stay in Charlian, while I oversee matters in Razdatan. It is rather convenient means to keep abreast of developments pertaining to the final days, or anything else. It also allows me, after a fashion, to watch over my people in this distant land.
Varshan, I was hoping you'd stop by. I can't thank you enough for allowing your artisans to work with me here at the boutique.
Please, it is I who should be thanking you. This establishment has restored a sense of normalcy to their lives. You have blessed them with newfound purpose and a means by which to support themselves in these troubled times. What's more, when they at last return home to Razatan, the experience and knowledge they have gained in your employ will no doubt prove a boon to the artistry and commerce of our land. In fact, I came here to see how your new employees are settling in, and to express my gratitude for granting them this opportunity.
It's an opportunity for me as well, believe you me. Your artisans have taught me so much about Thavnarian craftsmanship. Their resourcefulness and ingenuity is nothing short of inspiring. I can't wait to see what kind of wonders we come up with.
I pray you every success in your endeavors, Mistress Tataru. Before coming here, I heard word of the Forum's decision, of what will soon be attempted. It was only then that I finally understood why my father called this star the last bastion of hope. Indeed, it was the last bastion, for the flame of every other star he encountered had likely been extinguished. In the boundless dark, the light of brimming life must have been blinding in its splendor. You journey unto the heavens to protect that light. May the scales of my kin serve you well. I have faith you will prevail and restore peace and tranquility to this star.
I hope so too, and I'm glad that your people found a home here.
Mm-hmm. I should like to visit Drazatan again when this is all over.
Yeah.
And we should be honored to receive you. There is still much of Razdatan you have yet to see. Stoic nod.
Definitely.
Forgive me, but I must take my leave. Fare you well, and remember, the people of this star have not yet given up hope, and neither must you.
Thank you, Sastra. That poor armored fellow. He looks like he's having problems. Might be a bit too heavy for him. He's been panting like that for quite some time. I'm going to guess me, but I'm probably wrong.
Okay.
Ugh. Where must I go to get a meal with some flavor in this wasteland of taste?
One place and one place only. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
Hello, old boy.
Rylea, Thayrin. My, whatever are you doing here?
Talking with you, apparently.
A new boutique, you say? I'd been meaning to expand my wardrobe. Yes, something with a little more flair, perhaps, befitting a man of my station. Though I have nowhere to flaunt said raiment so long as my confinement continues indefinitely. The young Lord Fortans insists that, so long as there is work to be done, no matter how trivial, I must abide here in Charlayan. Thus do I toil, though every fiber of my being rails against it. Why, I've even suffered the company of that brute Sicard to see supplies transported in a timely fashion.
I thought you'd gotten better than this. Some people never learn.
Yet he was the one granted leave this morning to participate in some supposed covert operation.
Uh-oh. That bodes ill.
So I suffer instead for his otherwise welcome absence, now burdened with extra busy work. Without Honorai here, there's no one to prepare my meals. I came here in the hopes of finding a nice cafe, perhaps. Alas, the Charlene delicacies I've sampled were lacking in every respect.
Ah, you've had the Archon loaf.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh, ow! Have you tried Archon loaf? You can find it in all the shops.
No. I would not. No.
Yeah,
no.
He does not deserve that. Not quite.
If you want a hearty meal, what is what you're after? I suggest the Last Stand.
Yes, it's the only place worth eating.
That first line is just so cruel. Oh my gosh.
The cafe over on the pier? Your cuisine didn't appear all that appetizing, but if you vouch for their cooking, then perhaps I will give it a try. Thank you for the suggestion, and ta-ta for now, old girl.
Ta-ta. I hope he grows out of it. But then
He's
again,
grown a little. And I do mean a little.
like an ilm?
That might be you.
Okay.
Might
well,
be.
well. Is that Thayrin, Rylea, and Tataru I spy? No.
Oh.
Hello, Hancock.
I wish I'd been right.
He's not that bad. He's
Yes,
not
he
good
is.
either, but he's not bad. He just is. Hancock, what are you still doing here? You said you were returning immediately after dropping off your cargo.
Yes, that was my original plan. After all, any expertise required aside from the delivery of goods is well beyond my purview. But what manner of entrepreneur would squander an opportunity to study the markets of the northern seas? Worry not, I will return straight away to Kugane once I have finished.
Of course you will find a way to turn this crisis to your advantage.
She wounds me, the industrious woman running a new boutique. I'm not blind to the travails of those who fight in the front lines to deliver us from ruin. Indeed, I have every confidence they will succeed, and I would make myself and my business ready for their return.
If you believe in them so devoutly, then why not put your money where your mouth is?
Uh-oh. Fair enough, Tataru. Fair enough. There's not more I can do to help ready the Urk and her heroes for their maiden voyage, but on your return, I shall host a grand celebration in your honor at the Bukairo Inn. Accommodations are quite costly, given the reputation of that establishment, but the East Aldenard Trading Company would be honored to foot the bill. Will there be lemon cakes?
Will there be lemon cakes?
Oh, a woman of tart tastes, I see. Yes, there will be lemon cakes and much, much more. The finest delicacies the world and Lord Lolorito have to offer. Uh-oh. But let us speak more of this upon your return, lest I draw even more of Tataru's ire. Until next we meet.
Bye! Him and Lord Lolorito, they're kinda two of a kind. They are neither
Yes.
good nor evil, but they are money grubbing. They're money grubbing, but they do actually have some sort of principle, whatever that principle might be. I did the last two. Suck it.
You know, it'll be you this time.
Probably.
Ah, Rylea, Thayrin, decided to spend your time at the markets, did you? No.
Hey, Biggs. Hey, Wedge. Long time no see.
Mm-hmm. Tataru!
Thanks, Wedge. I take it the work on the Ark proceeds apace?
It does indeed. Collaborating with the greatest minds of Sherlin and Razad Han has been a rewarding experience. And that's to say nothing of what we've learned from the labyrinths. The Ark is unlike anything we've ever had the pleasure to work on. Even Nero was rendered speechless on more than one occasion. God. Well, I suppose we can trust him to actually help. And not just help in quotes.
Every time he's come out to actually work on tech, he has actually helped. He was pissing and moaning and whining.
Has been help in quotes.
He's been pissing and moaning and whining the entire way, but he actually does pull the technological wonder out the arse in the process.
Can't wait for you to see it. And you...
Go ahead. Sorry.
And you'll never guess who paid us a visit before we came to Charlian. Alpha! Yes, I saw him at the dock. I think he sensed the coming danger and returned to check on us. He was always one to turn up in a time of need, and I suppose that's why he decided to join us here in Charlian. Good thing, too. I don't know how he does it, but he does have a knack for brightening your day just by being there. Yes.
That's because he's Alpha, and Alpha is adorable.
Yes, we could use a companion Alpha for this trip. We're gonna need all the good cheer we can get.
Mm-hmm.
Still hard to believe we have the means to send you off into the great expanse, though. To the furthest known reaches of, well, everything. Never thought I'd live to see such marvels, yet here I am. More often than not, you and the Scions are the catalyst that sparks the need for these great innovations. To think how much I'd have missed out on had I not been a member of the Ironworks. And an awful lot of work, to be fair. And the privilege of being worked like a cart chocobo. There is that, too. As busy as we've been, I wish there was more we could do for you.
Trust me, you two are doing a lot, and I thank you for it.
But no matter what happens, we have to keep believing. For a brighter future.
That we do,
and
my
filled
friend.
with even more adventure.
Are you sure?
Hey, they're working on their 10-year plan. There's going to be more adventure.
Yes, there is. And more adventure to come. When you head back, would you tell the engineers I'll be along shortly with refreshments?
That's very kind of you, Tadaru. They'll be glad to hear it. And on that note, Wedge and I should get going. Still a few more supplies to gather before we return.
Be safe, you two.
Yeah. We've not seen enough of you lately. Nope.
Terribly sorry for the wait. Right this way, if you please.
I'm a horrible matchmaker.
Right. I don't believe you two have been formally introduced. This is Rylea, from Palaka's stand. Haven't we met before? Ah, yes. It was you who helped us at Playthru, and again when we crossing the ice fields, was it not? I doubt we exchanged more than glances then, but it is kind of you to remember me. Thanks to Mistress Tayrin, I and many of my friends have found gainful employment in these foreign lands. It's only natural to feel fear in the face of calamity. In such times, we must look to one another for strength and succor. I know not I know not whether we will come to call this place home or return to Thavner, but here we are today, and we are glad to have contributed to the cause. And contribute they did by helping to make new garments as durable as possible. We put our heart and soul into them, and I have every confidence they'll keep you safe in the battle to come. Gods, to think how far we've come since our humble beginning in the waking sands. From the rising stones to the fallen snow, even a certain insufferable someone's ruby bazaar, we were always fortunate to find friends along the way. Even though we're swept away in the first, Grahatia was there to grant you sanctuary. I'll never forget the relief I felt when you all returned to us, though I thought my heart would burst. Yours has been a long, long journey, and I've been privileged to watch, often with bated breath, as you persevered time and again. For all the joy we've shared, there's been much sorrow as well, but I've long since learned you can't have one without the other. Which is why I promised to send you off to the seas of stars with a smile. You can be certain I'll be the first one to welcome you back on your return. Oh, and Tataru, I think you need to talk to a scholar about a wandering carbuncle.
Yes!
You need to give yourself credit. Someone lollyhoed us and then ran off.
Indeed.
Don't forget to pick up your clothes from Varash before you leave. They were expertly tailored just for you.
Ooh.
In addition to your new ensemble, we have raiment and weaponry for every need, so please feel free to browse our stock. Da 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 da. Sorry.
You may now obtain job-specific gear from First Route. Be obtained at 89. Item stats will be subject to item level sync. Upon reaching 90, they will no longer be synced. Gear can be dyed upon creation of the role quest, right?
Okay then. So, one Dragoon set coming up. I could probably pick a lot of my sets, but
Yeah, well.
though I think I have a better spear. Thank you, action.
Oh dear.
Uh,
Perseus bow, 560.
yeah, it's a better spear.
What item level did he give you?
He gave me a high quality 90.
And what item level is it?
580.
Oh, 580.
Yeah, 580.
Okay. This is all going to be like separate gear instead of like a Explodo chest.
Yeah, this is our relic gear.
I know! I don't think I have the space for this.
3 slots remain in your inventory.
It was the reason why you only had jewelry drop in the 89 dungeon. This is where you get the rest of the gear.
Can't say I noticed.
Is this pinching my ears again? No, it is not pinching my ears. Hoorah! I'll take it.
Fine, I'll discard those.
Though, there is a downside. I can't meld it yet. Actually, 89 I cannot meld yet. Oh, this is gonna get expensive.
And it's all separate stuff by job. In the long run, that is going to take up a lot of space.
Yeah, I'm just doing one for now. I'll do the rest off air later.
Like I said. Okay.
Okay, where's... Ah, there's the melder. Oh, come here, Mr. Melder.
Okay, that helps. Three slots.
Let's see. Oh, wait.
Two.
Wait. This is 560.
One slot left.
And this is... Oh, dear God. I don't know if I can afford this.
Really? How much is
What?
it?
What, you need help melding materia?
No! Buying materia!
Oh.
This is the first thing we can get that actually can take 10s.
I'll stick with 8s for now.
Sounds like you need to start writing dailies.
Boy.
Actually... Well, I do have some...
Well, they've certainly had worse bows.
Okay, that one's a pair of crit hits. Do I have enough to buy a pair of crit hits? Yes, I do. Though we should get going on story.
A little late.
I know. Ooh, it can't suck 2 crit hits. How interesting. Oh, I'm only off by like 2 points. Yeah, I'll suck it. Actually, what's the pants want? Pants want determination.
Hey, the... Pulled something other than what I thought I pulled.
Oh.
Which chewed up my last slot before I was quite backed into the corner.
Direct hit. And this one's another direct hit. Show bot 2. I'm being stingy.
That was the one. Oh, it was probably in the other order.
Dragoons need their direct hits. Yeah, well, I've got skinny legs. I can suck it. Okay. Probably crit hit, and I'll say a determination. One crit hit. And one determination. And to think, these materia are still not as big as they used to be in Shadowbringers before the big number crunch.
Hmm. That's why the numbers were seeming weird.
Yeah, they really crunched the materia numbers. Don't know if I quite chill with the helmet, but it's better than the helmet they gave me last round, so...
Oh dear.
Hey, at least you get a helmet.
Oh, and the visor sticks up. Proper Dragoon visor. Yeah, I really do hope they spend a little time with the Viera stuff, and the Hrothgar stuff, but I can also understand why they don't, because that'll be a huge workload for a very tiny piece of the game.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't mind so much.
Nope, not yet.
I have to say, for Bard, the Bard suit looks pretty decent.
Somewhat.
And while the bow is kind of interesting, it isn't this funky, homogenized harp like we got last time.
Oh.
Well.
Looking at the wrong thing. No.
Just for the record, folks, the gearing that I just did for the materia was kind of my simple rule of thumb way of materiaing things. It is technically not optimized, so... But at the same time, you really don't have to have the optimization unless you're trying to run Savage content.
I will want other things from you in a minute, but I don't know what yet, nor have the room.
Right.
No, that's...
But for 3/4 of the game, rule of thumb seems to work just fine. Since I don't really do at-level raiding at the moment, I'm not too worried about it. Oh, my retainer has come back. Did you bring me more moose? Yes, she brought me more moose. And now
She wasn't bitten by a moose.
And now I just need a flower. Moose flesh, what can you do? Yeah, I've got a feeling I'm going to be in Crafting Savage the next couple of days.
Oh, the feeling. Say it isn't so.
Because it is that time to build new suits for gathering for myself and my retainers. And it's taken 3 days to have my retainers go out and gather the stuff while I spam up the trusts for leveling.
Okay, so 1,
2?
2. Well, actually,
I probably shouldn't count. I'll just screw you up one time.
2. Call it 2 and 2. Ooh, okay. 2 and 2. 3 and 3.
Interesting.
And of course I don't have that many. Dang it. Fuck. Is that? I'm losing track. Ow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't keep that many things in my head long enough.
Just checking out the different pieces of my gear suit. We seriously need more glamour plates. Oh, speaking of glamour plates, I better turn that off or I'm going to be in trouble. I had a glamour plate set to my Dragoon set, so the next time I popped into Dragoon, it would be glamour to my old set. That would be bad.
And I got the last piece I needed for Pandemonium.
Oh, very nice. Congrats.
My Dragoon is now officially as fully geared as she can get for another 2 weeks.
Congrats. Yeah, 2 weeks is when the weapon comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe if you make big,
that actually worked out.
Make big bunny eyes at action, he might build you something.
Nah, I wouldn't force him.
I don't think forcing would come into it.
He is the action of the Action Bastard Ironworks.
Yeah, true.
At least offer him some of the math if you can.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see if I can link this. This is the spear he made for me for my birthday.
Yeah, the classical spear. That is
Okay.
Pandemonium level gear.
Yeah.
Okay, I am set.
Okay, we have Tataru to talk to over here. So Tataru, what do you think of the new duds? Are they what you were kind of hoping for?
Friends gathered. So delighted by your patronage, Tataru is ready to send you on your way.
I realize you've still got a lot to do before you depart, so I won't keep you any longer. I do hope you can find a moment for yourself and that the others can as well. They say that we're returning to the Baldessian Annex, though I doubt they'll stay for long. If you decide to go looking for them, I suggest you speak with Crow first. I'm sure they would have told you their plans.
Speaking of jumpiness.
I've actually gotten, in certain gear, I've actually gotten people to try and hit on me as if Thayrin was a girl. It was hilarious. He's like, my trap card is still good. Hey, Krell, what do you think of the new duds? They're Tataru special and actually worth something. Don't tell her I said that, okay? At least it doesn't have a butt window. You're back. I take it you received a gift from Tataru? You're looking at it. It was a surprise long in the making, with many, many long hours fretting to get everything just right. I'm glad to see it realized, and with great success. If you're looking for others, though, they've already taken their leave. Of course they have. Yustola, Thancred, and Arianje have gone to the last stand for a bite to eat. Alice and Graha, meanwhile, thought their time would be better spent pondering over books of Numenon. As for Alphino and Estinian, well, they elected to pay a visit to the Levier estate, though Estinian seems somewhat reluctant to go. I'm sure it would all be glad for your company if you mind to seek them out. Should you feel Peckus, I suggest heading to the last stand before Yustola and the others finish eating. But above all else, it would be foolish to run headlong into battle with a fatigue mess, so do remember to get a good night's sleep. Do we want to eat first or sleep first? You're running down the stairs. I guess we're eating first.
Pretty much.
By the way, I don't know if you got a chance to have one of those chocolate muffins Cat's Paw brought home the other night.
They were okay.
I actually really liked them. I guess I was craving a chocolate muffin or something because it was freaking ambrosia last night.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Guess they didn't have any lemon.
chocolate muffins do okay with me.
I would prefer a non-lemon poppy seed, but yeah, I'll take a chocolate if it was offered. Oh, this is a mighty fine table. Should
Their
I drop?
order arrives on time.
Yeah.
I just clicked on Thayrin.
Oops. Yustola? Try as she might, Tataru had no chance of standing between you and a hearty meal. Don't worry, we saved some for you. Ryanje? Thou hast perchance the opportunity to partake of the rainbow pudding? Owing to its striking flavor and somewhat garish appearance, 'tis quite popular indeed. Indeed, so popular that the last stand stock hath been entirely exhausted. I should hope,
You?
at the very least, Puddingway did sup on the moderate delectable of dessert. Yeah, they were the one who caused it. Thancred?
Rylea, Thayrin, come to make our trio a quintet, have you?
We have.
Please, have a seat, and we'll see about getting you a drink.
A drink would be good.
A drink?
Hey, I can toss it back with Giat.
Your business with Tataru was finished. My, what a thoughtful surprise. Whatever would we do without her?
Indeed. And she's right, you know. It hasn't been all doom and gloom.
Feels like a lifetime ago that Master Louis Soir gathered us together to form the Circle of Knowing. Since then, we have experienced much. But rather than feeling wiser, the more I learn, the more I find my knowledge lacking.
Forsooth. As a student, vainly did I believe that I held the secrets of creation in my grasp. Yet that which I had seized was but an insignificant sliver of what awaited in the wider world. Every encounter, every experience hath served to open mine eyes, enlightening and humbling me in equal measure. Even from those whom I called enemies have I learned many a valuable lesson.
What will we learn at the edge of the universe, I wonder?
Ultima Thule, where the bringer of the end makes her nest. I, for one, can't possibly imagine. But whatever awaits us there, we will survive. We must. For her.
You've nothing left to prove. Not to Reen, nor Menphilia.
Sure.
Though the, just make sure you bring enough ammo is also tempting.
Is aught the matter?
Only we just nailed him right in the forehead.
No, it's nothing. I just... Well, lately I find myself surprised at how much I've changed. How much we've all changed.
We've come far together, and if we have aught to say about it, we'll go further still. Aye, we will avert this calamity and return home. In preparation for which, we must give thought to what we hope to achieve after the proverbial dust has settled.
What with the primals and Ascians all but dealt with, I suppose we'll need to look for new hobbies.
Oh,
In
I'm sure something
seriousness,
will show up.
In uniting to overcome a common foe, the disparate peoples of the world have found a way forward together. It's a truly gratifying sight to see.
Indeed. Though it was many years in the making, we have successfully set in motion the gears of fundamental change. With this, we have fulfilled our humble role as a symbol of hope. And I dare say it is time to bow out. After all, there is no shortage of hands to bear the torch in our stead.
You know, I never really considered I might live long enough to see an after. But even if my time as a scion came to an end, I don't expect that much would change. Traveling the world, going wherever the wind blows, lending a hand to those in need.
A journey for journey's sake. It doth suit thee well. I must confess, I too have yearned to see more of the world. If thou art amenable to the suggestion, I would accompany thee. Mine ability to effect an air of normalcy through artful disguise is much improved, thou must concede.
Aye, well, improvement is relative. You still look suspicious no matter what you wear. What of you, Ishtola? Any grand plans?
I'm sure there's something involving Runar that she has planned.
Why, continue my quest for knowledge, naturally. To begin with, I wish to know the state of the reflections, to which end I must find a means to travel between worlds. 'Tis the least I must do if I am to keep my promise.
Ah, nailed it!
Should my pursuits prove unduly arduous, I won't hesitate to call on you. And in return, I will take you to see Reen one day. I'm sure you cannot wait to see the fine young woman she has become.
Spare me.
And what of thee? What wouldst thou pursue? at
Singing
duty's
career?
end?
The road goes ever onward, one foot in front of the other.
Here's yours. My apologies for the wait.
Well, shall we make a toast? To victory.
To our comrades.
To the future of the star.
Our engine has come so far.
Mm-hmm. They all have, really.
No, I'm talking about Square Enix's.
Yeah, yeah. That too.
Can you imagine them doing that scene with the AAR version of the engine?
Oh, frick no.
Yeah.
Thancred?
You can always count on your friends to help you maintain perspective. Pity mine take a perverse pleasure in it. I'd like to think I give as good as I get, though I'd fare better with the occasional assist from our consummate nodder.
Gee, thanks.
But it's all in good fun, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I say, Thayrin, whence came this simulacrum that standeth beside thee?
Okay, you need to cut off on the Dwarven Decker, okay? That might be just a little too much for you.
I see falsely. Ishtal and Thancred but moments ago employed the self-same doubling magic. All right then, keep thy secrets.
Yeah, you can't hold your liquor, can you?
Not that much liquor.
Not that I'm one to talk. Leaving so soon? I suppose it's for the best. If you'd rather not explore the bottom of the bottle with Urianger. I dare say the others would welcome your company as well, if you could find them, that is. In any case, as long as you make the most of your time, then that is all that matters. While we remain here a while longer, at the very least, until Urianger finds his legs again.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's finding much of anything at the moment.
There we go. Ha. Kind of pointless to have my visor down during all that, but oh well. Well, look at who we have over here. So, do I need to kick you in the shins yet?
No, I am not neglecting my duties. Honestly, I am not allowed even a moment to myself. Genius needs time to reflect on his thoughts, you know. The Ark truly is a marvel, and I count myself fortunate having had the opportunity to help build it. A pity I did not come here sooner. Oh, the things I could have done with the fruits of their research. Not that that is any of your business, mind you. Though I suppose I could have found a way to apply that knowledge to further improvements to the Ark as well.
Nero.
Uh-huh.
So, I say we go to the Numenon.
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
I knew you were going to do that. One of these days I'll actually pronounce it straight without tongue-tying myself.
Good luck with that.
Every time you say it, that goes through my head.
Sorry. We missed our turn. But looking for a brighter future is good. I'm just worried about how many red flags are going up.
No comment.
But it's good to get a little private time before heading off. Oh, sorry. I missed my turn. Again. Sorry. My bad. Here we go. This is where we want to do. Hello, Pudding Way! Have you had your fill of pudding? Ah! They're over in the gazebo. Watch out! They bite! Very dangerous. Graha! Oh god, both of them!
Fell asleep.
Completely and utterly.
Try
Allison?
speaking with Alice, but she is fast asleep.
I should let them sleep. Should I get them a blanket?
Oh. Knowing them, they're probably dreaming about the celestial adventures to come.
Keep your voice down, Cryle.
Just as well. They've been running themselves ragged of late. Unlike you and the others, I'm a few steps removed from the danger and excitement. The things you all get up to never fail to impress me. But by the same token, I can't help but worry. Not only for your safety, but for your happiness. After everything you've sacrificed, you earned it 1,000 times over.
Cryle, what makes you think I'm not happy now?
From the simple pleasures of tucking into a hearty meal or collapsing into a comfortable bed, to the grand triumphs of visiting legendary lands or finding true love. You deserve all the joy in the world. There is so much that life has to offer, so much to be treasured and shared with those we hold dear. So promise me this. Come what may, you won't give up on your own happiness. When you're out there fighting tooth and nail, it's all too easy to forget. But in the end, your passions will be your greatest strength of all. Remember that.
He wakes.
This feels familiar. Well, 'tis good to be... wait. What are you... What am I...
Okay, I won't tell you.
Gods, don't tell me I fell asleep.
Out like a light.
Not that there's any
These two will
shame
tell
in it,
all you for
but
me.
you were sleeping like babies.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Not a word to anyone.
Now, now.
Understood? Not one word.
Okay.
I'm told that sleeping in proper beds of your own choosing is a much more effective way to prepare for battle. Oh.
So, what were the two of you doing here?
I had a few books to return to the library. Thought I'd take care of it while I could.
And you?
Meditating?
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
Perfect.
I don't know, I kind of like meditating. So I guess that is the secret. Graha?
That's enough reading for one day. As we don't know how long we'll be away, I'd best return these books before we depart. Yeah, it could turn into a really large overdue fine.
Yeah.
And eat. I'm absolutely famished. What about you? Just came from a meal. I see. Perhaps I'll stop at the last stand on my way back.
Alice, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Gods, I didn't realize I was so tired. One moment I was resting my eyes, and the next... I should go get some air. Maybe a quick bout of training, but not sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. No, you
This
sleep
is what
now.
caused this.
Sleep is for the weak. If nothing else, these two seem to be in good spirits. Still, I'll see them back to the annex for a proper rest, even if I have to drag them by the ears. You might have to do that for LSA, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Off to see Alphino and Brostinian. Ah, that was adorable. Yeah, sorry we're running a bit overtime here, but I'm full of caffeine. I'm not sure what Rye's on, but here we are.
Probably right after this.
Yeah, trying to get to the story break.
Something like that. Yeah, I was kind of expecting the, to happen before this.
Yeah, well, we're getting treated to a nice bit of character and final peacetime before all of Thal's halls break loose.
They have been doing taking a lot of time out in the story for that.
It's not a bad thing.
Not at all. You go square.
Gives us more reason to fight. I'll be honest, I think it's a good idea we're doing this, but I am worried about cutting off the backup plan if things go south.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a cautious person. Oh dear. Ascidians in finery. This should be
One
good.
wonders how much he paid for it.
Well, it's kind of dressed down finery, but yeah, I feel bad. Fine, I'll take my helmet off. Are you happy, Astinian?
What? Surely this isn't the first time you've seen me without my armor.
Uh,
Actually, I think it might be.
the only other time I've seen you without your armor or some sort of battle dress on, you were in the hospital.
True.
Hello, RC.
Oh. What brings you here?
Just checking up on you.
Ah, so you were worried that the Rylea household might again be gripped by turmoil. All is well, I assure you. In my letters home, I had made mention of Estinian, you see. My mother wished to meet the legend in person, and so we arranged to have a spot of tea together.
Ah, that makes sense.
Where were you in my hour of need? Fell beasts I can face, but I'm not made for idle chit-chat with lords and ladies.
Oh, I think you'll like her.
Well, I for one thought you held your own. Mother was the picture of delight.
I might have been delighted myself, were we in a tavern with more agreeable drink. The thought of fleeing crossed my mind, but what then? I'd never hear the end of it, least of all from Tataru.
I'm sorry. 'Twas not my intent to cause you such distress. It's just... it was one of the things I didn't want to leave undone ere we set forth. That's not to say I think we won't be returning. Yet, given what lies ahead, I did not wish to leave for later that which I could do today. After all, tomorrow is never promised.
It's fine. Not like I had better things to do. Besides, seeing you with your mother brought back fond memories of my own. Be we rich or poor, family is family. Well, it's past time we were on our way.
Come on, Estinian, I'll buy you a drink. Want to see something funny? We could go to Last
Wait.
Stand.
Since I left home, I've made a great many mistakes. Mistakes for which I can never make amends. But through it all, you didn't give up on me. To have returned here with you at my side, it means more to me than you know. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. Forgive me, but it needed to be said.
I'm the one who owes you thanks. Were it not for you, I would not be alive today, nor come to terms with Nidhogg's spirit. I am ever grateful.
You were never one to forsake a friend, Alphino.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. And I'm proud of that.
As you should be. But dang it! I miss tea with his mom.
Yep.
She's a great character. Alpha, no?
A few of our comrades decided to remain a while in Shoreline after making their deliveries. Did you happen to pass any on your way here?
A couple.
All that remains is to return to the annex and give my armor one last polish. I expect Alphino has maintenance to carry out on those floating things of his, too.
Neoliths. They're called neolith.
Floating things.
Yes, they are very much floating things. So back to the annex.
And bed.
Yes, that bed is looking mighty fine right now.
Better by the minute.
Yeah, we're almost there. Don't fall in, kid. It's ill-abridged. I think they ended up having to take that down.
Eh?
Due to copyright infringement.
Ah.
Hey, Ojika. We're ready for a good night's sleep before we take on all of Thal's halls.
Welcome back. Return to catch a final few winks before embarking on your mission, I presume? Yes. You'll be happy to know your chambers have been cleaned and fresh linens laid out.
Sounds wonderful.
Pray you enjoy the sweetest dreams on this final night before the big day.
Yes, I will retire to my chambers.
Now, I am unlikely to be haunted by Ordbert. That
Oh,
night,
no.
at the Royal Menagerie in Alamigo.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, dear. What is he up to?
You will never get what you want. Not even the battle you pine for so dearly. In that transcendent moment, what was it that I sought in you? And what was it that you sought in me?
I sought nothing in you, Xenos. Here, have a bird. Have 2 of them. Sorry.
And thus it dawns. The day of reckoning.
I still hate him. With every fiber of my being.
often have we thus assembled? To combine our knowledge and seek solutions to the problems before us.
Back at the Waking Sands, it was all we could do to address the most minor of troubles. Who could have realized what we'd find when we began to look to the sources of the realm's woes?
At the Rising Stones, we made great strides and shared many moments, from the joyous to the sorrowful.
We've had occasion to call other places home too. Be it Ishgard or Kugane, we were fortunate to find sanctuary wherein we might take stock and continue our fight.
I was honored to host this company in the Crystarium, to stand with you all as we confronted the truth of the star itself.
And now from this place, we go to fight the most important battle of all. The Forum has sent word. The Ark is ready. The Loporrits naturally will be commanding the vessel. They will see the 8 of you to Ultima Thule. Upon arriving, your objective is to find and vanquish Meteon. As a final formality, the Forum bade me ascertain your resolve. So, are you certain you wish to do this?
We are.
Then, ere you report to Thalmasane, I leave you with these words. You must triumph. What that means will differ for each of you. To make it back home, or to simply avert doom, or perhaps something else altogether. Yet whatever it is that drives you, I have faith in its power to see you through. So please, triumph. Triumph, as we who remain behind believe you will.
Let us be off then.
Wait! Both Kryl and I will be there to see you off, but as your receptionist, I feel I need to say this here. Safe journey, all of you, and be safe.
You too, Tataru.
Mm-hmm. No getting chased by marbles again.
And seriously, down Labyrinthos, Scholar, Carbuncle, talk. And I think we're going to call it here for the night.
Yes, I was kind of planning on like quarter after, not. Yeah.
Though I think we might want to take it down at the first stand, because if we click on Ojike here, we won't get access to our beds.
Oh.
He'll throw us into another half-hour cine or something.
Yeah.
He pretty much will.
Yeah, I can tell, I can hear poor Rye slowly turning into a pumpkin across Discord. I, of course, had a soda for dinner, so now I'm wired. Oh, speaking of carbuncles. One last drink?
If it'll ever arrive.
In any case, it is way past time. Thank you all very much for joining us. We will be back on tomorrow, probably at about 4-ish, 5-ish. Mostly so that we can record as we play out. Definitely go watch Baron's stream instead. He'll be doing nice art stuff. I believe he's doing art stream tomorrow.
Yes, he is.
Okay. It is ye plague times. Days of the week is this fuzzy concept to me nowadays. In any case, you all get a good night's sleep. Be well, stay safe, sleep well. We hope to see you tomorrow. After Baron's stream.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, all.